Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Kanipa with Makwa, Standing Bear, Soda Tribe, Fishing Lake First Nation, Saskatchewan, Canada, Treaty 4 Territory, Anishinaabe, 60 Scoop Survivor, published author, United States Swimming, former United States Swimming National Champion, and we are here. Welcome to We Are the Medicine Circle, which is, it just says We Are the Medicine Circle. That really implies that no one's in charge here, up to including myself. I am not in charge here. I don't want to be in charge. I'm not leading. I am in the service of the Great Spirit, and I'm in the service of this circle. So, let me get this. Hold on. And there's really no other place that I'd rather be than sitting with you this morning in circle and just doing that beautiful thing that we do, that we do. It's not what I do, it's what we do. So, just kind of to reiterate that you are a valuable member of this circle when you join in that beautiful beautiful way. You sit in the circle. You make us better. So don't think that it's just because it's really the hollow. There's a great question the other day. So I'm just not the hollow bones. We are the hollow bones. So you are a significant, important member of this circle when you are here, right? So there's that beautiful flow. There's that beautiful flow that flows here. So don't think you're not noticed, that you don't count. Maybe you don't say anything. That was a great comment the other day. You guys come up with some really good questions and some comments of that. So, maybe I don't say that enough. Maybe that's on me, but it's really important. So, we're better with you here than when you're not here. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's it. So we are the medicine circle. So that really kind of deepens that beautiful. It really deepens the medicine, right? So it's not just I'm just going to watch Wayne. It's like you are intimately involved, and that's a beautiful thing. That's found your place in the circle, right? And the most important thing we say after that is, if no one said that they love you today, I love you very much. And so you are welcome and included here in this circle. We don't judge you on look, shape, colors, religions, or anything like that. And, you are welcome here. So it's really important that we mention that. Love you. And love means, there was a comment yesterday. So love means, hey, we don't want anything from you. So it's not, the question was kind of like again, and we get this from time to time, right? And this is not right or wrong, but this is a typical colonial response. I'm uncomfortable when you say, because I don't know you, right? That was actually. I'm not going to pull it up, but that was basically it. Look, and so this is just a clarification, that means I want you to live your very best life. Right? There's no agenda here. There's no hidden agenda. There's no lustful agenda. It's a female, so there's no lustful agenda. And I said it just like I'm saying this, right? There's no trade-off. There's no negotiation. This is not that, right? That's a colonial response and an understanding to the basic term of, I love you. I just want you to live your very best life, connected to all of those things. And even though I say that, and I say that on a consistent level, and this is why I say that. This is the reason why, right? And in fact, we're going to talk more about this in the reading today. And so we're going to go over Whispers from the Hollow Bone, November 15th. So if you want to turn to that, those pages there, put that in the feed, please. Thank you for that. But I want you to live your very best life. And what Grandfather Tony and what the elder says, I can't do it without you. Right? So again, we're in this beautiful place of all helping each other out. We're all in this beautiful place this morning, right? Spiritually, physically here, being all in, right? Being all in, right? And connected to all those. So I love you. I want you to connect to all those things that give us life. Right. So this is kind of like a repeated thing. So connected to things like air, water, fire, earth, right? Beginning with those, and the spiritual component to all those, right? Not just the physical component, but the spiritual component, because everything begins with the spirit. So, anyway, I got tired of running over, so I started early. I love you guys. I got tired of finishing at like 9:20, so I thought I'd start a little early. So anyway, I love you guys. You guys are awesome. So all right. So a couple of house announcements, connections. We are coming off 2 platforms, so if you see me looking back and forth, that's what I'm doing. I'm over at YouTube. You Facebookers know where I'm at on Facebook, but YouTuber, and so that community over there, that's growing. So that's really exciting over there. Standing Bear the author. That's where I'm at over there. Once you hit the like and subscribe, it notifies you when I am live. So that's that's that thing. So also we got kind of like a new tag list, Facebook, and this is for the Facebookers. So just give me a minute, YouTuber. So some days Facebook doesn't allow me to tag anybody. Some days, so I'm kind of leaving it at like my safe area is like between 10 and 20. So I know we created like a new tag list. So yeah, we're just gonna rotate that tag list. It sent me a warning yesterday because you can tag up to 50 people, but if you tag up to 50 people, you get the Facebook warning. So I know. So anyway, that's that's what that is. Also, we will be off this weekend. So this is a ceremony weekend here, right here. So I'll be focused on the pipe ceremonies and other ceremonies that we will be doing. So we will be not be doing the live this weekend, but we will see you on Tuesday. We'll be back on Tuesday. So it's the long weekend up here in Canada. So okay, let's get started with a little smudge here. There we go. And again, like always, we respectfully request a volunteer to keep this smoke going throughout the entire circle, in remembrance for the residential school children who never came home, and the family members who are still in mourning. So we want to keep them in prayer. We want to keep them close to our hearts. So YouTubers, if you just give me a little heart, give me a little thumbs up, if we could, and it doesn't have to be more than this, right? Just and the medicine behind that is the smoke connects us all, and that's one of the beautiful, powerful, when we do that in a really beautiful, powerful way, it's like that much more. And when we do it in a beautiful way like that, it's that much more powerful, right? So when we understand the medicine, then the power really, really comes through. So thank you for that. And all right. Let us begin with spirit. Let us begin with prayer. Let us begin with offering. That's what the old ones always told me. Little help from above. Little pinch of tobacco. Prayer without offering is spiritual stealing. So let's do things in a good way. If you would like to offer with me, that would be good. And then, Kitchimanatu, Great Spirit, Great Mystery, Chi Megwit for our breath, Chi Megwit for our circle, Chi Megwit for our day, Chi Megwit for our life. We come here today. We mean no harm in what we do. We come here in a humble way, sacred way, a holy way. We are grateful for our last breath, and we are hopeful for our next, and we live in that place in between. come here to celebrate life. That is always the first reason why we are here. There can be many more after, but the first reason always is life. Without life, we have nothing. Without life, we have nothing. So we come here and we celebrate all life as if it was our own, because it is. We celebrate all nations, tribes, and circles, especially those nations, tribes, and circles that do not look like the two-legged, like the standing nations, the ones that offer the world breath. We say thank you. We say thank you. To the swimming nations, the fish nations, the ones who teach us how to live in harmony and balance with the water, we say thank you. To the wind nations, the ones who teach us how to live in harmony and balance with the wind and air, we say thank you. To the creepy crawlers and the slitheries and the insect nations, the ones who teach us how to stay close and grounded to Mother Earth, we say thank you. To the four-legged nation circles and tribes, all four-legged nation circles and tribes, the ones who offer us, teach us, and give us so much to and for our humanity, we say thank you. We are forever grateful. And of course, the other two-legged nation circles and tribes, all two-legged nation circles and tribes. For we understand that you are our teachers as well, and this makes our ears and our hearts very happy. We come here and we celebrate the spirits that bring us life. Air, water, fire, earth. We come here and we sit in circle and celebrate the seven directions, where we understand that life and love, wisdom, come from all directions, not just one direction. We come here and we celebrate the life of those who have come before us, our ancestors. And remember, if they are our relatives here, which all life is, they are our ancestors over there. So we come from a million points of light and love. That means they lived according with spiritual law, and they pass out those prayers along to us. How we live is a prayer to the next 7 generations. How we live is our prayer for the next 7 generations. So as we look and thank our ancestors, Grandmother Bear, Grandmother Salmon, the eagles, and all these beautiful tribes and circles, they offer these beautiful prayers to us. We are not without love, and we are not without wisdom. We are at this beautiful place. This beautiful, beautiful place. So let's come together and let's celebrate their life as if it was our own, because it is. And we also acknowledge that some of our two-legged ancestors were hurt, wounded, abused, and traumatized, and they passed those traumas and those hurts and the abuse on to us. We acknowledge this. We acknowledge the hurt and the pain and the suffering. But we also acknowledge the fact that we are here to heal. That we are here to heal. That means we are here to heal. That's what that means. We're here to help each other, encourage each other, to listen to each other. And we understand along this process, it's okay not to be okay. We understand the process of the women with the grandmothers and the men with the grandfathers. We acknowledge that. And during this process, and healing is a process, it's not an event. And so during this process, we begin to understand that their wounds, their hurts were not for us to carry. So we heal them and we release them. And we say, no, thank you. I've come here for the next 7 generations. That's why we are here, to celebrate the life of the next 7 generations. to celebrate the life of the next 7 generations. How we live is our prayer to the next 7 generations. Our next, we only borrow this earth from our children, and our children are only loaned to us. So we live at the intersection between two unseen worlds. Two unseen worlds. It is a great opportunity, a responsibility, a privilege, an opportunity to break the chains and to break the cycles. To change the course and the future of humanity. And that's what we do here. We offer ourselves to the circle. We offer our healing to the circle. We offer our healing to the circle. And we come here, and there is a path already laid out before us, but we can only see it with our hearts. That means we only see it with this beautiful intent is I come here to heal, and we will see the path with that beautiful, powerful, prayerful intent and walk. Let's not be tourists here. Let's walk this road. It is the road. It is the red road, the road of wellness, the road of unity, the road of the sacred hoop, the road of all life, the road of equality and love and light and healing. It is all those things wrapped into one. It is a road for all people, all nations, and all tribes. And we are grateful that this road is here and the ancestors have left this road for us. And this road has teachings, humility, love, truth, honesty, respect, wisdom, and courage. And when we start walking this road, it seems like humility is way over there and love is way over there. And we understand this. But the closer we get to this thing called healing and walking the red road and understanding, we come to realize that the love that we're looking for is already inside us. That it is a gift from the ancestors. And that's okay. It's a beautiful thing. We don't have to look for humility. We have to be humility. We don't have to look for love. We have to be love. And that's that beautiful alignment, the great reset, that great consciousness, that great focus. And we will remember the longer we walk this road, the original prayer, the first fire at the center of the universe, the ones that came down straight to the belly of your mother's womb, and that first heartbeat. Boom, 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 boom. The first song represents the first prayer. Harmony and balance. And the longer we walk this road, the more we will hear and see and feel and understand this place of harmony and balance. Okay, all right, beautiful. Just so you know, we had a little help during that prayer, and that prayer, we rescued, there it is, we rescued 3 little kittens. And the ornery one is Whiskey. And so that's Whiskey talking in the background, just so you know. That's Whiskey. That's Whiskey. We love Whiskey. Whiskey is going to get, trimmed and then hopefully find a good home. But that's what you hear in the background. Whiskers is the quiet one. Is my favorite. She's a C, but Whiskey is a little ornery thing. So, and I relate to that. I love you guys. Okay, so not quite sure where I was going with that, but okay, so couple things before we start in earnest. Hollow bones. It's that was the opening prayer. That's a hollow bones prayer. Our connection to all life. We understand that there's a life force out there, represented in the prayers, the walk, the understanding of all the animals that they all reflect a different part, a different medicine of that great consciousness, right? That great hook, right? So our job is to connect to that great love and that great consciousness, right? And everything begins with the spirit. So that's where we start, right? That's where we start. That's the first part. So we connect, and this is where humanity really stumbles, right? This is where we really have to work on this, right? Part two is giving life, giving prayers, prayers. That means giving the life that we have been offered back to the circle. That means giving the healing, and we mentioned that in the prayer today, giving healing back to the circle. That means encouraging others. That means telling your truth with this place of humility and truth. That means that if you had some sort of trauma, if you were drinking, if you're an alcoholic or like a drug, and now you found a better way, that means sharing that. Hey, look, aligning myself with this beautiful thing called life. Then, and my experience is when, and like I went to 12 step and I went to all these things, and I tried to be a Christian. I failed miserably. So, you know, um, and it's my belief I fail miserably because those things don't align with with natural law, right? But when I align myself with natural law, guess what? I find myself, right? And that thought of drinking and drugging and all those other things, um, it's not there anymore. It just like poof vanishes. That's the beautiful magic right there. That's a beautiful magic. Unbelievable. Just like, oh my God, it's just like you wake up one day, drinking and drugging is all I did for a long time, right? And now all I think of is having a cup of coffee, making my offering, starting my day with prayer, and then coming here and setting up and then helping you and then helping the circle, being of service to the circle and to the Great Spirit, and then that's how I start my day, right? Selfless instead of selfish, right? So we know that alignment. So anyway, okay, ancestors and elders. So thank you to Tony Stonehawk. He is my direct elder. Been with him for 30 years. Thank you to all those other men and women of medicine, especially over there, Fishing Lake First Nation, who have guided me in a really good and beautiful way. Um, and thank you to all those other men and women who I've had the privilege and opportunity to sit with. In fact, I'm going to sit with some more in a couple weeks. I'm going to be out in Germany and Hungary, and sitting with the elders and the medicine men and women. Like over there, what a privilege it is to just sit there, and how humbled I am to just sit there in the same circle with those. It's a great opportunity to learn and to grow a new way, right? So thank you for that. Okay, circle medicine. Circle medicine, there we go. Okay. This is what we are, circle medicine right here. This is the hair of sweetgrass, brain of sweetgrass, the hair of Mother Earth. Right here, this is what we look like. If you see me going back and forth to your newcomers, we're coming off 2 platforms. That's why I'm doing like that, and I'm not doing anything weird. It's not the coffee. So anyway, no one is in front of us, no one's behind us, no one's above us, no one is below us. No one is below us. Beautiful and powerful. And that means we're all equal here. That means the bears, the beavers, the butterflies, the hawks, the wolf, they're all equal. The trees, we are all equal here. We are all sacred here. And again, there was a comment the other day, just like, we understand, acknowledge, we live in a colonial world, right? They do a lot of weird things, harmful things, right? Right. We get that, right? We understand the patriarchy, right? This is not about them and us. It's about us treating everybody equal. That's the thing, right? That's the thing. Especially, this is a good segue into the sacred feminine. And again, there was a comment yesterday. We had a young lady yesterday. Again, she's struggling, right? So we're sending prayers. She did not want to be acknowledged, so I said that's okay. So I'm not sure if I've seen her here yet. And she said she was going to go to YouTube because they don't print your name out so whatever. She's having a hard time putting down the drink, right? And so she's in that lonely, low place, right? And let's say this again, and this goes for everybody, right? You know, we are sacred. You know, we are sacred because we are alive. Creator brought us here, brought us together. We are beautiful. We are powerful. We are enough. And thank you to the sacred feminine who said, well, let's include the sacred masculine too. So we're just going to mention that, right? And we also have to acknowledge that the colonial Western world, the patriarchy world doesn't acknowledge the sacred feminine as being sacred. It's like they're not really mentioned, right? Father, Son, the Holy Ghost is just like, gods don't really matter, right? Like you're on the front lines, we're not going to mention you. You just really don't matter. That's that's a dangerous place. That's a dangerous place, not just for them, but for everybody, right? When we're out of alignment, it's dangerous for everybody, and danger begins with us, with that on the spiritual level. Everything begins with the spirit. So so your mistakes don't determine your sacredness. Write that down. Where's my pen here? Hold on. Your mistakes don't determine, right? It just determines that the only thing that states is that there's a place of alignment and healing that's needed, and that's why we're here. So we are already beautiful, powerful, sacred when we're sitting here. If you had a drink yesterday, you are beautiful, powerful, and sacred, right? Right? And so the healing is we begin to walk that way. That's why we do what we do. That's why we're here. That's it. No one's perfect. I'm not perfect. It's like it's just but we're here. We're sitting in a circle, and that's the beautiful, and that's moving close to that perfect thing. And that's just the deal. That's just the deal. I'm better with you than I am without you, right? I know that. I figured that out a long time ago. So anyway, I love you guys. We're in really good time. We're kind of ahead of the game because we started early. Thank you for that, because I'm just tired of running over, man. I feel really bad about running over. I try to keep it to an hour, and I just fail miserably every time. So question of the day, and this is a really good question too. And there's a teaching behind every question, right? But this is a beautiful, beautiful teaching, right? And there's a couple young ladies who they were there's a couple people that they followed, right? Eckhart Tolle and Tony Robbins, right? So let's hold on, let's pull up here. So, and like the first question was, and I'm just pulling up something here. Their first question was, well, what do you think of them? I'm like, well, I don't really have an opinion. What's your question, right? But that's like an open and kind of like a loaded question, right? I don't answer loaded questions, right? So, what is your direct question? Be more specific, right? So then they said, what is your, and it was like a three-way message thing. So then they started sending me some of their quotes, right? And I said, well, like, how do you want me to address this, right? So the first thing, and there was a lot more back and forth actually. They're there, and they have it appears to be some sort of colonial background, right? And I get into this a lot with when I was in Europe last time. I literally had conversations with doctors of psychiatrists, right, and they were astounded by the message that was coming through, because when I got here, the colonial did to me what they were supposed to do. So they didn't help me, they diagnosed me, which is completely different. So, I came up with all these different diagnoses, but back when I got here, it was just like absolutely like insane. And gave me all this medication, and now, and so Tony said, well, you might need those, but let's try this first. And now here we are, right? So basically, the only medication I'm on is like aspirin and like metformin, right? So getting back here. So this is the first one, and so I said, like, give me like a, for instance, okay, Tony Robbins, and we're just gonna read this, and then we're gonna then I'm gonna have something to say. It is your decisions, not your conditions, that determine your destiny. Okay, that sounds really spiritual, but you know, it, it is your decisions. But I said, and what Tony said to me is, what are your decisions based on? It's not clear. It's just not clear, right? Here at like we are the medicine. We are very clear about what our decisions, our alignment, our thought process are in alignment with, right? The seven sacred teachings, right? Okay, good, right? Mother Earth, okay, good, right? The hawks, the eagles, okay, good, good, good. Decisions are based on the ancestors. Okay, that's good. Okay, here's really important, which the colonial world really misses, based on the next 7 generations. Excuse me. How about that? Right? Is your decisions, and it says about your conditions, right? We don't know. It sounds kind of spiritual, but then, like, what are we relating that to, right? And, maybe he is talking about it, maybe he isn't, right? But, we have to be really specific, right? We have to be really clear, really intentful, right? And again, we could take they sent me like a dozen of each, and I said we can take, so let's move away from that, and so what they were really looking for, the question behind the question is, and maybe we didn't really understand this at the time, is like, they're good, like, they're okay. I really don't have an opinion, about Tony Robbins or Eckhart Tolle. You'll find them, helpful, then that's good, right? Take what's good, right? But make sure what you take is in alignment with, the seven sacred laws, humility, right? Right. With love. That means unity. Right, love is unity. Right, make sure it's good for all people, not just some. Right, patriarchy religions, it's just good for them. Right, so it's not really in alignment with natural law. Right, and so basically, they said in one final word, what all right, the celebration of life. Again, that's why we're here. The second time we say, right, that's why we're here. In fact, we're going to talk about more of that in the reading today. Please keep your questions, concerns, comments coming. I do not guarantee that I will get around to every one of them, but I will do the best I can. Okay, so what we're going to do here, Whispers from the Hollow Bone, November 15th. What we're going to do, if you're new here, we are going to read it a couple of times, develop a general impression. This is not about right or wrong. This is there was a comment from you. So this is a practice. Yes, absolutely. Thank you for pointing that out. So when we say we leave, this is good, bad, better, worse, who's better, we just leave that at the door. In other words, we say no thank you, right? So again, because if we start saying, okay, Chanda and Leah, you guys are really good. That's really good. And then we say, Kim, Amanda, you guys are just weird. You guys are weird. It's just way. No, we don't say that because it creates that separation. So that's why we do that. You see how it feels? It felt like awkward, right? It felt like weird. But so we just excuse that whole nonsense of like good or bad. So that's why we say it's a practice in hey, just be yourself. That's all we're saying. Your starting point is your starting point, and we love you regardless of like what it had to drink 15 minutes ago, 15 seconds ago, or 15 years ago. It's all the same. And in perspective, like if you've been here for 3 days or 3 months or 3 years, then that's okay too. It's not better or worse. It's that beautiful practice in understanding. So that's what we mean by that. And thank you for pointing that out. You guys come up with some really good stuff. You really do. So anyway, so those who have a difficult time listening, always have a difficult time healing. Wow. 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 Okay, what's your general impression? Right. And here's from a couple ladies again. They said, can you ask people to share their general impressions more? So asking them, and I also said it's a good idea for you to say, put that in the feed yourself. Put your wants, put your needs in there. It's okay. It's okay. You know, the sacred feminine, as you know, that's beautiful. Hey, could we start sharing? You know, you know, that's what makes the bond stronger when you suggest that yourself. So I love it. And again, this is not a patriarchy thing where I have to like okay it to make sure like that. No, no. When it comes to like that, when it helps the circle like that, go ahead and answer. You know, like ask away. That's good. So those who have a difficult time listening always have a difficult time healing. Wow, wow. That's my general impression. Wow. What what do you mean by that? What do they mean by that? Okay. Very clear. They're being very clear. They're painting the road for us. They're not doing the road for us. They're marking the road for us. Okay. Those those who those who have. Okay, let's start at the beginning, right? Those who have, right? What's the teaching behind that? You know, it's very clear, right? What they're those. That means we have a choice. Put choice next to that, right? That's what that means, right? Right, right. Choice. Those who have a difficult time, right? So it just and just to be because someone's like or like yeah man I really know how to listen. I really I listen from my ears. I hear everything you say. Okay, okay, right. Again, one of the basic whiskeys really talking in the background, by the way. So that's whiskey, by the way. So anyway, so let's not get ahead of myself. So we're actually in pretty good time. So okay, we might have to finish on time for once. We started 15 minutes early. Okay, so those who have so we have a choice now. So let's step into that beautiful circle. Let's step into that beautiful choice. So we make that intentful decision, right? That's what that means, right? That's a beautiful place. I love you guys. Let's make that beautiful place. Okay. So those who those who have a and yeah, pretty much leaves it up to you. So let's step in that place and let's step in that place together. Okay. Have a difficult. Okay. Okay. Difficult is a beautiful, gentle word. Let's note when. Let's note when they said because they don't say. It's because again, it's not a declaration of who's bad and who's worse, who's really sick, who's making really poor choices. No, it's not like that, right? It says those who have it difficult, and everything begins with the spirit. Everything begins with the spirit, right? So difficult, right? Spirit right next to in parentheses. Everything begins with spirit. Or just write it on the page somewhere. You know, I got a lot of notes, so. Oh. So everything begins with a spirit. So let's take a look at what the spiritual meaning behind difficult is. Okay. Strenuous. Hard. Hard to what? Okay, alignment difficulties. That's a really gentle way to say we have alignment difficulties, right? You know, like if we're drinking or doing some codependent behaviors, it's just kind of like doing something sneaky on the side. That's a clear sign of misalignment, not being aligned. And I think it's safe to say that we are all working toward being better aligned right here. That's a really beautiful thing. Let's be just gentle today. Like this is a really beautiful, a little bit in your face, but gentle way. And that's just beautiful, right? That's beautiful. Okay, those who have a difficult time. Time. Journey. Time and journey, right? Okay, listening. Listening is the first form of communication. Without it, all right. So, and so again, there's no way to just say, "Oh, just listen from my heart." That's all, and that's like okay, right? That's like Tony Robbins reading. Like it's okay, right? It's like okay, but let's get deeper. Let's get into this, right? Let's really dig in and let's really get into this, right? You know, right? Listening is the first form of communication. We listen with all five senses, right? Right. Let's just start there. That means we listen from our eyes. We listen from our ears. We listen from our nose. We listen with our taste. We listen with our smell. We listen with our touch. That's what that means, right? That's what that means. And we live in a world of separation, so we think that everything is separated. But really, right? So let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at the body. Those are all parts of our central nervous system. Right? One is not separated from the other. So even our own bodies tell us it's one thing. So all the messages go one place. So what does that mean, right? Right? When we look at it, we're like, oh my God, that's really obvious, right? Yeah, central nervous system, right. Going to that one beautiful place, that place of observation, that place of connection, that place of beauty, that place of gentleness, right? So let's like how do we listen to smell? Well, what does it remind you of? Like, let's just hear it. Light it up. We're gonna light it up, right? I'm getting fired up, man. I know what you're gonna get out of me in the next 5 minutes, but I don't even know, right? I get fired up. So here, I want you to smell this. There, smell that, right? Smell that, right? And many of you said, "Oh my God, I can smell it." Like, how many of you said that? How many? Because when there's sage and I can smell it, right? Because it's that beautiful connection. When we see it, when we hear it, we can smell it. That's how we know we're connected. That's how we know when we're connected. Right? Oh God. And you know what? You know what? Sage, the fire, it takes me to this beautiful place, right? So when I'm smelling it, I'm listening to the spirit of what's flowing through. Write that down. Listening, hearing to the spirit, everything. I'm listening to the spirit of the fire. Listening to the spirit of the fire, write that. Spirit of the water. Spirit of the flow. Spirit of the connection. Spirit to those things that are already within me. So the spirit, the great spirit, Mother Earth, and all the medicines, they're constantly reminding us that we are part of those things on the outside that we are on the inside. If I had a mic, I'd drop it. I had a mic ready. Okay. Okay. So let's break down this listening. I guess okay. We started early. We're still gonna have some time finishing on time. Okay. So listening. So what are we listening for? That's the other thing, right? So not just opening. Let's be really intentful, right? Let's be really beautiful, powerful, intentful, right? Okay, let's listen to, humility has a voice. We should be listening to, aligning with, listening to humility. Right, humility, listening to humility is listening to alignment. There we go. Write that down. Beautiful, powerful, man. Beautiful, powerful. Love this stuff, right? What does listening to humility sound like? Write that down. Write that down. That's perfect. Put that in the feed. What does listening to humility and alignment sound like? Right? Like I remember Pops asking me that. I mean, like, dude, I have no idea what I'm doing. You're like way out there, Pops. I need you to come back down to earth, Pops. But really, what he was doing, he was bringing me back down to earth, and I didn't know it because I come from this trauma-based world where it's just everything they told me everything I was doing wrong, so I felt like I'm wrong, right? But then we come here, and then Pop starts talking about listening to humility. I'm just like, you, and I'm literally like this. looking. I think we were in lodge at the time. I'm looking. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about, pops. I have no idea. Right? But then he said, how many times have you sat by the fire and just been in that beautiful place? I said, you were listening without even knowing it. How many sunrises have you were listening to sunrise and not even knowing what you're doing? So what we're doing is what we're doing here. What the spirit does is it's bringing us back to that place of awareness, right back down. Beginning with listening, spiritual listening, right? First form of communication, first form of connection is really listening, right? So spiritual and then listening right after, and then we have to discuss here about they're saying what we're listening for, right? Listening to sunrise. How is that not listening to love? Every sunrise has a voice, has a song, has all these things. But if I don't even know the awareness that they're there, then I don't even know what I'm listening for, right? Right? So like we're not we're not sitting in the breeze and just listening to everything and just no, listening is really focused. It's really intentful, right? And we're not running away from anything. We're incorporating that beautiful alignment within us, right? Right. That's like saying, deflation of the ego. I'm just running from the ego. No. Well, that's okay. But let's just say, hey, I'm running with, I'm connecting to this beautiful, aligning with this beautiful thing of humility, and then that ego thing. So let's talk about it like this. We're going to shift gears. Okay. So maybe some of us are in like a 12-step program, like a recovery-based program, right? So, and like a lot of us say, like me, when I was early, and it says that I have to stay away from a drink. I can't drink. It was all about the drink. And what did I end up doing? I ended up drinking because I kept on talking about the very thing that I was running away from. So of course that full circle is a vicious circle. But like the more I'm talking about not drinking, the more drinking I ended up doing, right? So that, they don't tell you that, right? They tell you that, well, that's your disease. And it's like, I'm like, you know what? I'm just like, and then I had a heart to heart with a couple elders, and I said, well, that's not the way, because if we look at indigenous language, right, it's all about building that connection, right? That's the difference. That's the rub, right? We're not building a connection with drinking. We're building a connection with what? Life, right? That's the only reason why I go to meetings of recovery, is to help celebrate my life, right? Not to run away from a drink, right? I'm not running away from ego. I'm not doing that. I'm aligning myself with, because everything we say, everything is a creation, right? So let's be really clear about what we're doing and about why we're doing it. And so running away from something, that's okay, but let's really step into our power. And let's talk about those things that really matter. That's why at the very first thing we say, life is most important, and this is how we live a good, beautiful, powerful life, right? Connected to all things, right? Life is most. That's why we're here, right? Right. Drinking, as Gabor Métis says, drinking is a problem, but not the problem, right? Right. Perfect. He hit it on the freaking nose, right? It's a problem. So the issue is aligning ourselves with the Great Spirit, the Great Seven Laws, the Great Mother Earth, the ancestors, the way of the ancestors. And, and here's another beautiful thing is that, the way has already been made. There's a road out there. There's a trail for us to follow that they have already been through. So, there's no really need for I don't know which way to go here. It's like, no, following. So the circle says, follow the ones who have walked in a good way before you, and they're everywhere. Their relatives are right outside that door, right? So it's like, can't find anyone. I can't do it, But that's what that world, the world of separation, the world of separation, comma, the colonial world. That's what that is, right? So, like if we're really looking for this beautiful thing, we're really listening, right? Then it's all around us, right? It's all around us, right? Listen for the next 7 generations. Write that down. What would their prayers be? And start listening for that. This is a game changer, a life changer. I love you. I love you. Ah, I love you. That's whiskey in the background, by the way. Oh, just so you know, there was a comment here. What's whiskey? That's a rescue cat. That's like a bottle of whiskey. You guys are weird. You guys sent me a note saying, "What is whiskey? A bottle? No, whiskey's a cat." We rescued a cat. 3 cats, 3 feral cats. Okay. Anyway. So, because I was commenting, someone sent me a private message saying, um, sounds like we're listening to a cat in the background. And I said whiskey, and they were just like, yeah. So, anyway, I digress. I do that a lot. I love you guys. The way you just like, let me do that. Okay. Those who have a difficult time listening, difficult, hard, struggling, because we don't know, like that we're supposed to be listening, right? And we're not listening. And so here's like another comment that I get frequently, and I'm just gonna do a preemptive comment, right? So I just listen to love, So there's a lot of new agers out there. I just listen to love, and I'm like, that sounds great. I'm with you, right? But we have to be really clear about what that is. That love, and so if that love includes the 7 teachings and the medicine wheel online, and the medicine wheel, for those of you who don't know, is spiritual, emotional, mental, physical. So the aspects, and that is one part of the medicine wheel. That's not the entire medicine wheel. So there's always a traditional that always reminds me of that. So I love you guys. Thank you for that. So. And I appreciate that. So thank you. So the medicine wheel. So it's spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, all beautiful components, right? They're beautiful components, right? One is not more important than the other. The starting point is the daily. So we start in the east because that's where the sun rises. It tells us where to start. We start meet with gratitude, humility, right? We start the day with humility. We have a better day. Write that down. And then we're able, because it helps us align ourselves with those beautiful things called life, right? Right. Like if we're like here. So here's some contrast medicine. So how many of us out there starting our day with a drink, right? Or something else, right? I did. I woke up, light it up, drink it up, right? I did that for years. So so it sets the tone for the day, right? So so it works that way, but it also works the other way, right? Let's set the tone for the day, right? Right? And we set it with gratitude, love, and humility because that sets the tone for the day, So if we don't do it, then we're probably setting ourselves up for, and our day goes sideways because, like I've started my day. I'm not starting my day with a drink, but I started my day with an emotional drink. Anger, fear, resentment, which is what? Which is dangerous because those things don't let me go. Right. That means I keep focused on that. Write that down. Anger, resentment, it just has a kung fu grip on me, right? But here it says those who have. So we already know we have a choice, right? So the setup to all this is we have a choice today. Whether we want to heal, whether we want our days to have a really good day, right? And this is what here. So let's talk about practical spiritual, right? So last week was a really chaotic week because there was something inside me growing, a couple cysts, right? So like how do we do this, right? Right. So speaking, we set the intention of what is going to happen. So we are creators, right? And thank you. And I had a lot of help. This just wasn't me. So I'm not trying to say it was all me, but I'm saying, my prayers changed a little bit. It said, this is sickness leaving my body. This is sickness leaving my body, right? So this is sickness leaving my body. A really beautiful, powerful, right? Right. That's the intention. That was just flowing through me, and I'm not sure it came from you. I'm not sure where that came from. Well, it came from someplace beautiful and powerful and spiritual, but But what I'm talking about is I listened to that. I really wish I wrote that down better. It was just kind of like, but I listened to that. I said, that's beautiful. That came from the spiritual ethers. Came from the circle, right? Couldn't tell you where it was, but let's write that down, right? Right. Let's write that down. Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. You know, listening to that beautiful voice, right? And that's a soothing thing. Sickness, like if I get sick, is sickness leaving my body. It's not anything else. It's not going in, it's going out. Right? That's a beautiful thing, right? And that's a celebration of life. And I couldn't tell you where that came from. I just like, I thought it came from the circle, but I can't remember. But I can be grateful now that it came at all, right? So here, let's check this out. So like if I were drinking or drugging, would I have been able to hear that? If I were angry, upset, which I was scared. I felt vulnerable, right? I felt nervous. I said this could be, practical or spiritual. And so a little bit of part of this conversation was practical. Like this could be the beginning of the end right here, right? This could be. I might not be here next year, right? Might not, right? So I had to have that conversation, right? But I also said, well, let's make every day count and let's just talk about this leaving my body. And I got that from listening to Spirit. So this is how Spirit is flowing through us. And this is how I'm so grateful for you because you are a part of all of us. So we start off the hour saying, how valuable each and every one of you are. How valuable each and every one of you are in this circuit, in this circle. Leah, Nina, Marlo, Sybil, Kimberly, Carolyn, got a bunch of people over here on YouTubers. I love you. So you're also part of this virtual circle. Right? So that's the beautiful, valuable thing, right? So by coming here last week, sitting here in this circle last week, you were part of that beautiful healing. And now we are benefiting from what we are listening to. So maybe we should get back to the reading, Snellgrove. I think we should. Okay, those who have a difficult time listening always have a difficult time healing. Okay, right healing, right alignment, right? And again, this is not a good or bad thing, right? We're not bad people becoming good, right? That's what the colonial says. You make a mistake, you're a bad person, right? You get sick, you're a bad person. You do something, you drink, you're a bad person. No. We say, no thank you, that's the circus. So we can say no thank you to the circus and those people that endorse and walk with the circus. And we all have friends that do, right? Yeah, you're a bad person, right? Yeah, you're bad. Yeah, you drank, yeah, you're bad. So we say, excuse me, I love you, but no thank you. And we just say no thank you. So we exit them from our immediate circle. Right? That means, that proximity thing. That means they're, some sort of level of misalignment, right? Some level of ongoing toxicity, right? Well, we don't need to enter into that, right? Because they don't know how to listen. And we hang around a bunch of toxic people. Guess who's toxic? Me, right? Like I don't go to shooting galleries anymore. I don't go to bars anymore. I don't go to crack houses anymore because that's why. Because it's like that proximity. And if everything begins with spiritual, then what does our circle look like? And it doesn't mean that we don't love you. It means that, hey, listen, no thank you. I think I'm going to be over here while you do your thing over there. And I'm going to be over here. We are the medicine circle because we're talking about love, light, power. And you're talking about, you're talking about Donald Trump and all this stuff and like all these things, but drinking and that's what it sounds like, right? And I'm looking like, I'm looking over there like, oh, thank God I'm not in that circle. Kind of like the people that judge you, right? The people that judge you, the people that judge the people around you, like also toxic, right? You know what? You're hanging around that person that made a mistake, that makes you a mistake, right? Right? So we exit them, and really, like if we really want to talk about it, is they can't, the higher, and this is the higher consciousness we have, the higher spiritual vibe we have, they can't hang around us anyway. When they ignore us, they're doing us a favor, right? Right? When they ignore us. Like they think they're in charge and they're in power when they're ignoring us. They're doing us a favor. Thank you, man. Please just stay over there, man. You're stepping out of our circle, and I tell you what, we really appreciate that. We really appreciate that. Yeah. So There are those who have always. Let's talk about always. All right. This is really let's. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to skip over this, gloss over. This is really important. This is like the tipping point. This is very clear, right? I I don't talk in absolutes, right? I don't talk in absolutes. Grandfather told me never talk in absolutes, but when it comes up, let's take a look at it, right? Is this is for something beautiful and powerful, right? You know, this is an absolute, right? But this is a beautiful absolute, right? Those who have it, so is telling us there's a road there and which way to go. It's telling us at the beginning. What did it tell us at the beginning? Those who wrote it down said there's a choice there. There's a choice there. Okay. All right. So those of us who have made this choice now realize that listening is personal and what we're listening to, and know, right, difficult time listening. Right? Always, always have a difficult time healing. And that healing is, at the end of the day, always alignment, finding their place in the circle, knowing there's a place in the circle. And that's finding your value. And once you find your value, then you find your gift. That's the way it goes. And then once we found our gift, the way we know we're healed is we offer the gift. That means we offer love, life, light, and compassion, right? Like 30 years ago, I did not offer you anything like light, love, and compassion, right? I was ready to take from you and take from you everything you had. I'd steal from you and help you look for it, right? Right? Right. That's what the world taught me, right? Right, good or indifferent, that's just what it is. Okay? This is all about me and myself, and they create good drug addicts. They really do, right? They create that sickness, right? And so but now it's us. The healing is there. So when we know that when we start walking the way of healing, is how we know that is when we start going out of our way to help others. Write that down. Write that down. So if you're just coming in the circle and not going in, that means and so this is what Grandfather Tony taught me to do. So he told me this. So what I started to do is well, I don't know how to help people. And I truly did not know how to help other people. I really did not. I had no idea. I said, well, and I thought about it. And so we came up with an idea of, and one of those things was go and help out a soup kitchen. I ended up running a soup kitchen at Southern Methodist Church, but for 3 years. I ended up being the director. It was a volunteer position, didn't get paid anything, but I ended up working at a church doing the soup kitchen. Like we did, we did 2 hot meals twice a week. So it was Monday and Friday, Monday and Thursday, 2 hot meals, and then the rest of the day, Monday through Friday, we did bag lunches and stuff like that. But it's a lot of work, by the way. So but that's what I did, right? And I had no idea what I was doing. All I did was I just went there and started volunteering, right? And then then hey, can you do this? Can you call this guy and get those things? And then go over there, no, run over there, okay, run over there, and then eventually a couple years later, I was running the thing, right? And I'm looking around Tony, I'm walking the red road, running a church thing. It's well, that's good. I'm like, well, they're doing a sermon before. I said, that's good, that's fine. Good. Continue to help the people, right? You're helping people, right? I'm like, okay. And so that was a beautiful part of my journey, right? That's a beautiful part. I love that, right? And like a lot of homeless, they have other issues, right? They have other issues with drinking and drugging and all that. And so I'm with you. So I got the opportunity to, and they weren't interested in the Bible verses or the Proverbs or anything like that, but they were interested in talking to me as a human. How about that? And maybe it was the first one, maybe I was one of the first people that ever listened to them. And that's the other end of this. When we feel heard, guess what happens? The healing begins, right? I had tears in my eyes just holding on, You know, no one else would touch him. No one else would look at him. And here I'm listening and offering food, right? Taking my time out. Time is listening, right? Write that down, right? Time is listening. When we feel hurt, we begin to heal, right? So it's not us listening, it's us listening to. And to what? The circle brings tears to my eyes, man. That's how beautiful, that's how powerful this thing is. Okay, so we're almost at the top of the hour. I really feel like we should finish on time one day. So I love you guys. So, okay, so what is your takeaway? This is from you. This is a suggestion from you. So what is your takeaway today? It's really important that you share this. We're going to finish in about 2 minutes. So what is your takeaway? Please share that because this is helping other people. This is, hey, this is my takeaway, right? So just in the beginning, we have all these beautiful perspectives. Now there's a beautiful alignment. And now what are we taking away? And our takeaway is what we're offering to the circle, right? Write that down. Our takeaway is what we're offering. The way we live, the way we carry ourselves is also our offering to what? The next 7 generations. So that shift, that gentle shift, that little course correction, that gentle course correction, Pop's told me that a million times. You know, I come up and like I make that mistake again, I drank again, and he'd be like, let's have a gentle course correction. I mean, like, you know, but it was so beautiful. It's like one of those things that got to my heart. He said, well, okay. He showed me that I wasn't a bad person, right? And that's the way that he showed me. So, okay, let's have a gentle. Let's just do this again. You know, it's okay. We'll just do it again, right? You know, so my medicine. That's why we come here every day because we'll just do it again, right? You know, right? I love you guys. So what is your takeaway? Facebookers too, what is your takeaway? Put your comments in the feed. Introduce yourselves, YouTuber. I probably should have said that at the top of the hour instead of the end of the hour, but you know, I love you guys. YouTubers, you are awesome. I love you. Yeah, let's put the takeaway. Let's put that right here. If it doesn't go here, once it goes to our families, loved ones, communities, you know, nations, that kind of thing. Just kind of close your eyes. This is grounding medicine. This is not entertainment. This is grounding medicine. You know, the standing nation. This is part of the tree nation, even though it looks like this. It's still part of the tree nation. It still has a song. So the original song is, so the song comes from the tree, the birds, and the wind, not me. We are the last to hear the song. Okay. The song is already out there. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for Whiskey doing the chorus in the background. We love Whiskey. We hope Whiskey. Oh, if you're looking for a cat, we have Whiskey. So anyway, we love Whiskey, and there's Whiskers, which is quiet one. So anyway, the final word is this ceremony may end, but the ceremony in you does not end. So we take what we live here, love here, and learn here, and listen here, and take it out to the 4 winds. Does it feel good to be all spiritual here? That means go far beyond hitting that share button. Hit this share button with everything and everyone and any institution, every group. So social media, we already go there. Just put it out there. But it's more important, other than sharing that, it's more important that it goes right here. It goes right here. That's where it needs to go. If it does go here, then it won't go out there. My name is Kanipa with Macwap, standing there. And no one said that they love you today. I love you very much. Let's have a great day. Okay, I love you. Bye.